Hey folks, welcome back to Black and White, here on Twist Mountain, and oh boy, it's my favorite NPC. Hello, Charon. Now, I take back what I said about Clay not having an offensive enough accent. It's far larger than it needs to be, and I like it like that. Anyway, yeah, Team Plasma in his house. Better do something about that. Oh, you're a mountain, huh? So yeah, Twist Mountain. It's a mountain of twists and turns, and it's basically the area where the seasonal differences actually make the biggest difference. Like, there's a hail on some routes, yeah, but here, basically the entire layout of the mountain is changed for the sake of winter. And since it's basically completely different, I'll be showing black and then white. And white's gonna be a lot less painful. Because there's... well, for some ungodly reason, I didn't use repels during this section. That was just a nightmare, especially since I had to edit this video twice. And second, there's a lot of hidden items and whatnot that you can and cannot get. Some of them are only available during winter, which is frustrating. And there's plenty of trainers who have nothing of note. There's a bunch of Bulldors, there's a bunch of Girders, there's a Sock, there's a Throw, and that's honestly about it. The wild Pokemon aren't much better. There's a bunch of Bulldors, there's some Girders, I think Girders, and then once in a while you run into a Cubchoo or one other special Ice-type Pokemon that I will show a bit later. But other than that, it's not a maze, really. You can't get lost. It's a linear path. It just kind of curves around. Who's number one? Me? Someone else? I don't know. Anyway, most of the trainers here are either miners or hikers. There's like one or two karate people. But yeah, apparently they have some sort of mining operation. Apparently Clay is in charge of it or something. And that's why you see all those bulldozers down at the bottom. Anyway, a lot of the hidden items you'll find here are stardusts or nuggets or other things that you can sell for fun and profit. But I still keep forgetting to sell that. Anyway, hello, evolution, the most important and interesting thing in this entire episode. We have Electra evolving into Electric. Brilliant. Anyway, now that Electra's finally up to speed with the rest of the team, I can give that experience share to Cindy and finally start getting her caught up with the rest of the team. Anyway, Crunch. Crunch seems like a really common move in the 5th gen. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. But that'll replace Tackle and be probably our main method of offense against things that aren't weak to electricity. And that's basically the best thing about this whole section, is that evolution. I find caves and mountains and whatnot really boring in the first place. And I don't know, maybe it's just because rock types are really boring. But I mean, this is just a bunch of Bulldors, honestly. Like, Bulldor. And an item once in a while. Now, luckily, it's a lot more tolerable in winter, so, you know, I wouldn't recommend waiting several months in order to come here during winter, but if the planets happen to align, that's certainly a lot more fun. And Hizzle over here. I don't even remember what all these items are. There are a lot of items, and none of them are particularly noteworthy. I think there's like 1 TM on this entire mountain, and it's something you'll never use outside the metagame. Oh boy, another miner. I wonder what he has. I wonder if it's a Boldor or something. I don't know. Yeah, basically, the geography of this area is you start at the top and you kind of wind down in circles towards the bottom where there's an exit. Which is a decent idea. It's just, you know, a linear path, though, which makes it not very interesting. I'm okay with caves if you can, like, get lost and there are landmarks and you have to navigate, and it's, like, fun and Metroid-like. But that's not the case here. I don't want to complain about this whole place, because, I mean, you gotta have a mountain somewhere in a Pokémon game. It's an established fact. You have Mount Moon, you have Mount Mortar, you have Mount Pyre, you have Mount Coronet, you have Twist Mountain. But, it's just not very fun. Maybe it's just because it's the brown aesthetic, I don't know. Everything's so brown. And if it's supposed to be kind of an icy mountain, then it seems like there could be, like, more ice or something. Anyway, showing this wild encounter because it's a cryogonal, I don't even know. But it's a rare ice type in the area, and no evolutions, nothing of that sort. But, I mean, if you like Soul Rock or Lunatone or those other weird floating things, then this will be right up your alley. This just looks so angry. I don't know if it's really my style. Pretty sure it's a pure ice type. Kill it as you would any other ice type. I'm just showing it because it's rare and I ran into one by accident. Even though I should have had repels up. Why didn't I have repels up? I don't know what use repels, people, guys. Come on. This isn't a hard enough game that you need all the extra experience from fighting wild Pokemon. I just run from all of them anyway. And is that everything here? No, we have an exit here. And this is base floor. This is where all the dudes are kind of camped out. There's a vending machine. There's their living quarters. I mean, I like the idea that there's human settlement here to distract from the fact that it's just a boring cave. But it's still pretty boring. Anyway, up here is the exit, which means I'm ignoring it because there's still one section to explore. And it is one section that could be minorly interesting, but it's only interesting in the post-game when, you know, you'd just be focusing on EV training or something. But yeah, there's a little secret thing here that you can access in either season, any season, but it's a hell of a lot easier to access in winter, just saying. It's a cave with an ice rock, which you can use to evolve Eevee into Glaceon by leveling up here in this room. I think that's how it works. Okay, I lied. There are 2 TMs here. There's Flash Cannon, which is like, okay, and then there's one other one. But there are better TMs, you know, just use it for the time being. And here, exit out here, then one last sweep here, and we'll head to the exit. Don't taunt me with those items, Dazzling Machine, don't taunt me. Alright, and here, let's watch it in amazing Winterovision. It's so much better. Not only does it look better, because, like, the white looks really nice in comparison to just walls of brown, but you can get the various items on this top floor here using Dazzling Machine. None of them are particularly noteworthy, and you can just go up and down the mountain by, you know, running on the snow, up the hill and down the hill, and it's really nice. Like, if they could have designed if it was always snowy and they could have designed a non-linear kind of maze area where you have to run up the hills and stuff. That could have been really cool. But as it stands, it was just not. And even if you do happen to come here in winter, just by, you know, the planets aligning, you're probably just going to run towards the exit, and all the non-linearity and moving around comes to nothing. But yeah, over here... See, I used all of 2 repels in this section here. But that's it. Wouldn't have cost that many repels to use during black, come on. Would have saved me a lot of time. And there's the one trainer they have to fight during winter. And even then, you might be able to sneak past him if you're a ninja. In fact, you probably can, yeah. Anyway, this guy's notable because he is a Clang, the evolution of Clink. It's a Clink, but more so. I think it follows the Magneton line of reasoning in add another mechanical thingamajig and make it bigger. It functions the same as a Clink, but it's stronger, faster, better than before. Not that much better, though. And because Lilo hadn't fought anything yet on this mountain, Reversal wasn't very powered up, so Return had to do the trick. He just happened to miss there, I don't know. It probably would have died if it had actually hit me, which is ironic. Look, that critical did a whole, like, 1/4 of my HP. Amazing. Anyway, that's all that's notable about Clank, yeah. And we are officially moving on to the second half of the leveling up, like, spectrum. I wonder how high Lilo's gonna get. Right? And, yeah, I had this weird thing. I just kept accidentally running into these dust clouds with items in them. Like, they would appear right in front of me, and I had no choice. Anyway, Substitute. You'll probably only use it in the metagame. It creates a substitute using 1/4 of your HP. That will take the hit for you. So, it's useful in certain situations. There's an Everstone, I'll never use it. And, through here, we have... Ta-da! It's that easy. Oh god, another tower? Really? I mean, we just had a tower. Anyway, I do like this contrast here. The Team Plasma members are like, hey, we have to use Force, and a couple episodes ago, N was like, I'd rather not use Force, and there's a clear disparity between their choices in method and action. My god, Sharon is learning! What a twist! And just head out here, and we are in the next city. Hello, Cedric. I just heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. Man, there are like 5 places like that in the Pokémon world. Anyway, this is the city, Isurus City. I want to say it's Isurus because there's a lot of ice stuff going around, and if they meant it to be Icarus, there's an established way to spell that. Anywho, here in Isurus City, and that takes care of our wonderful time in Twist Mountain. So, that takes care of that, and I will see you guys next time.